Welcome back to Winning Law. I'm attorney David Nguyen with offices in Houston, Texas. And today we're going to go over the major changes to U.S. immigration laws since President Biden became President of the United States in January of 2021. One of the first major changes to U.S. immigration laws was the introduction of a 100-day moratorium. President Biden noticed that there was a COVID-19 pandemic. He felt that it wasn't safe for U.S. workers and also foreign nationals to be caught up in the immigration court system. So he proposed a 100-day moratorium, which would stop the U.S. government from deporting most individuals during this period of 100 days. However, this moratorium was highly contested with individual states, and eventually it was scrapped. This means that no one was safe under the 100-day moratorium, and deportations continued to happen. The next major change involved how the U.S. government classified certain individuals when considering placing them in removal proceedings. So in the past, before Trump, what they did was that they looked at foreign nationals and they determined whether or not that foreign national had a reason to remain in the U.S. or whether or not that foreign national had a criminal record. And if you had a criminal record, most likely you would be prioritized and be removed to the U.S. very quickly. However, under Donald Trump, he just flat out stated that all foreign nationals will be treated the same. This means that it didn't matter whether or not you've been in the country for a long time, had no criminal records, he was still going to place you on the same threat level as a person that had multiple crimes that really should have been at the higher tier of being deported. However, now with President Biden, he has stated that he's going to focus, or he wants the Department of Homeland Security to focus on people with a criminal record and not so much focus on people that have a clean criminal history. Now on here, you notice that I put TBD or to be determined because President Biden has said this, but we really don't know whether or not it's going to be enforced. So what this means is that if you are in the country without inspection and you file for an immigration benefit, like a family-based petition because you are married or you have a parent or child that's a U.S. citizen or green card holder, or you're applying for asylum or the Violence Against Women's Act, even if you have no crimes, you should know that there still is a risk that if that petition or application is denied, you'll be placed in removal proceedings. So it's very important that you still try to submit a very strong case. And if this means hiring an attorney, I recommend that you do it. The next major change involves the Migrant Protection Programs. So under the Migrant Protection Program under Donald Trump wanted asylum seekers that were entering through Mexico to wait in Mexico while waiting for a decision on their asylum claim. So before this happened, if a person entered through Mexico and they had a valid asylum claim, the United States will allow that person to enter the United States while waiting for a final decision on that asylum claim. And this seems more humane because if a person is fleeing persecution, all they would really have is the clothes on their backs, anything they could carry, and that's it. So imagine what Donald Trump did. He made these individuals remain in Mexico, a foreign country that they may not be familiar with. A lot of these people that are seeking asylum are not originally from Mexico. So when they are fleeing the country, all they have is the clothes on their backs, the things that they were able to carry, and some of these individuals were maybe attacked by coyotes who exploited them and took their belongings. So imagine that you're living in a foreign country with your family, you just fled persecution, and now you can't get to the United States, which is offering sanctuary. So this was very inhumane. And President Biden put a stop to this. What he's done now is that he reverted the policies to pre-Donald Trump, and now he's allowing asylum seekers with valid claims to enter the United States and wait for a decision inside the United States. The next major change involves the reevaluation of the Flores Settlement Agreement. Now under FSA, I'm not sure if many of you remember how this came about. So how it came about was that there were many journalists that started leaking photos of the detention facilities. And in these photos, we will see that there were families that entered the United States together, seeking asylum or other forms of relief, and they were separated from their families. So imagine if you were a mother coming in with your child, both of you would be separated. Not only this, but those leaked photographs revealed that women and children were being kept in cages. People that required medical care did not receive medical care. People were not receiving edible foods. Let's say, for example, they were being fed frozen foods and being forced just to eat it. They were not given blankets, and some individuals came in with soiled clothing, meaning wet clothing, and they were never offered a shower or clean set of clothes. So these things were very inhumane, especially when we consider the fact that many of these individuals escaped to the United States seeking sanctuary. And when they got here, instead of treating them like humans, we throw them into cages and separate them from their families. Very inhumane. So what happened was a group of immigration attorneys, we sued the government, and the government agreed to what is known as the FSA. Under the FSA, immigration attorneys will be allowed to visit these detention facilities, interview these foreign nationals, and determine if the government is adhering to the Flores Settlement Agreement. So our office knows too well about the FSA because we actually visited a detention facility in Westlake, Texas, where we interviewed detainees. However, I can tell you that the FSA wasn't implemented fully at that detention facility in Westlake, Texas. Hopefully those issues have changed, and especially with President Biden coming to office, he's going to make sure that families are not going to be separated, especially if they are being detained, and also if they are separated, they are reunited with their families. Because under Donald Trump, I'm not sure if you heard or read this in the news, but many of the children, they don't know what happened to their parents. So they ripped them off from their parents, and now they have no way of linking those children to the parents. That's how sad the situation is. So this is just 4 changes to U.S. immigration laws since President Biden took office. Please stay tuned for our next video where we will discuss additional changes to U.S. immigration laws. Again, thank you for watching Winning Law. I'm attorney David Nguyen, and we hope that we have made immigration easier to understand.
At David Nguyen's Law Office, we are here to help you. We bring families together through immigration. And on the other hand, we help you find solutions. All your legal needs in the hands of people who care, who are there for you. We'll take care of your loved ones at the Law Office of David.